to the Under the Sun podcast, where we talk about all things under the sun in order for you to broaden your horizon. And I'm here with my auntie, Dr. Amylah Bōdy, and she's going to tell you a little bit about herself. But today's conversation is about all things mental health. Yep, we're going to get it from the rooter to the tutor. We're going to talk about it all. So thank you for tuning in, and let's get to it.
Thank you. Again, my name is Dr. Angela Kirkwood Bōdy. I am a licensed clinical social worker here in the state of California, and I'm excited to be here with my lovely niece.
Yes. So let's get into it. She is a psychotherapist, and also works at Kaiser. And what unit are you in for Kaiser?
I am in the nephrology unit. I am what they call CAPD, and that's for patients that are on peritoneal dialysis treatment, and they need the support of a licensed clinical social worker. So I'm there to support those patients, yes.
That's good.
Yes, and I also have my private practice, which is in Torrance, California, where I see adults with acute and chronic illnesses. Wow. Anxiety, depression, and all those things, like you said, under the sun.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what inspired you to get in the mental health field? I know that in the Black community especially, and in minority communities, mental health is taboo, and it's like if you're not physically coughing or bleeding out, why can't you still do what you need to do? What's holding you up?
You're being lazy.
Yeah,
exactly.
Go to school.
So my experience came from me working when I worked as a medical assistant X-ray tech several years ago. I won't give you the number. And I saw many of my patients at that time that were coming in expressing somatic concerns that was unrelated really to their physical health. It was more related to their mental health. They were having issues on their job, issues with their family, relationship issues, and that was causing the physical concerns. So that sparked my interest. Hey, let me look into this field. And I ended up at the University of Southern California to obtain my master's degree.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's important. Mental health is so important, and there's a lot of stigmas in that area. I want to know what challenges do you see in your field when trying to make people more comfortable with talking about their mental health?
Just from them not understanding the importance of brain health. The challenges comes from stigmas from their family members, where they feel shame and they're embarrassed to discuss what's going on in their life. So usually they wait until they have a major episode, and they want to seek out therapy. We don't understand the importance of taking care of our brain as well as our body. So there's challenges just being around that setting where it's a stigma there, right? So no one wants to make the call. No one wants to call in and say that they're having a problem, right? They want to keep it all under the cover, again, until they blow up, Yeah,
and I think that's important to get on that as soon as possible. I feel like growing up, I see a lot of even adults not be able to articulate what they're feeling and feel like the only emotion I can express is anger and happiness, no in between,
And you say that, and you know what, anger is so easy for us as BIPOC community, or just Black community specifically. It's just so easy for us to express. Have you noticed that people are so easy to get angered, but when you have to talk about sadness, they just go into their shell, right? It's a lot under that anger. It's a lot of pain. Again, shame, embarrassment, under that anger. But it's a quick emotion that we're able to grab.
And I think a lot of times, like growing up, displaying like sadness, I always thought, that means I'm weak, and then but also not wanting to blow up, because then people will think I'm out of control. So it's like finding that medium is like, oh no, I don't know what to do. I don't always feel comfortable, and I feel like as individuals growing up, we kind of model what we see, or what we see in life teaches us, we don't want to do that, or you just start involuntarily doing these things. And that leads me to my next question, how does your circle kind of influence our comfortability with the topic of mental health? We talk about stigmas and it being taboo, and that's learned behavior. We didn't come out the womb being like, oh, hey, I'm ashamed of my mental health. Hey, I'm ashamed of it. Hey, we're all ashamed. Hey,
yeah. And you just said it. It's about mom or your dad. It could be your siblings. It could be your community, your good, close friend group. You have to be the one to say, hey, we're going to speak up and we're going to talk about it. Doesn't mean you're going to provide therapy, but it does mean that we're going to be comfortable with our feelings. So just stating how you feel on a regular, it doesn't have to be deep. Hey, girl, how you doing? How you doing?
Right.
You know, I don't want to get all in your business, but how you doing? And leave it at that. But knowing your feelings, knowing pain, knowing the range of feelings. There's a whole bunch of, it's over 100 feelings. It's not just anger and sadness, right?
Wow.
It's fear, it's nervousness, you know, all these things that we are not able, like you say, able to verbalize those. That's a good way to start with your friend group, people that you love, right?
Yeah, taking it bit by bit and finding someone you trust, and so like you're explaining, it's, you know, your circle is very influential, and what you're comfortable doing with your circle, and it inspires you to take those steps. So I guess we could relate it to saying, for example, with hair. We see, I see all my homegirls doing their edges, looking nice.
Edges laid.
I'm like,
yours is laid today, girl.
Yes, yours too. You got that swoop up.
Boom.
Love it. Yeah. But like, so I would feel inspired and more comfortable to lay my edges because, you know,
it's the norm.
Yeah, it's the norm. It's what I see around me. So when, you know, when I walk out with a certain group and I see they express themselves, like they don't really express themselves or communicate their different emotions, I could pick up on that, or I could be a catalyst in bringing up those difficult conversations. Wow,
I like that. I like that you notice that everybody's hair is done, especially in our community. But on the inside, we're jacked up because this is a shield. This is a falsies. I said I was going to have a conversation at one time called filters and falsies. You know, the lashes, the lipstick, the hair. You know, I see that you present well. I tell my clients, you present absolutely well. You come to me, you're looking amazing. But inside, you're just in turmoil because you're not able to express your feelings because it's not the norm. Right. It's not the norm. So having these conversations opens up everything under the sun. Right. Right. Including brain health.
Wow. That's deep. That's deep. And I remember a while ago learning the word representative. Can you go into that a little more? Does everybody have a representative? Is it only a trait of like a bad person? Just kind of break that down, like what you show in the beginning. Oh, how you present?
Yeah, how you present? Yes. Okay, so representative could mean many things, but from what I'm getting, what you're saying. Some people present themselves as scholarly. They're well dressed. The edges are done. They have the house, the car. They have the husband, the kids. Or if they don't want that, they don't have it. They have the fame, the glory, or whatever. But again, inside, they're in turmoil. They're able to mask it. So your representation could be masked because we're, again, the shame. You know, acknowledging that we're not in a good place, that we're not that person that we said that we should be, or that our family wants us to be, that our parents want us to be, you know? And it's a lot of hurt there. And it's also, if you consider it, a little bit of grief, because you're grieving something that you were told you should be. You know? The hair stuff is easy. I got that. Right. But the other stuff, the backup stuff, is the hard conversation. Right. Yeah. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, you kind of broke that down. And so really everybody, you know, has a representative, like a mask, a representative, like who they show up. And I guess I could kind of relate it to kind of code switching, or if I kind of look at, if I take it down to like, you know, dumb it down to a smaller term, even with a child, like a 5-year-old, my 5-year-old brother, the way he acts with his friends or around an adult he's scared of is different from when he's around people he's comfortable with. So just switching. So that's even something a child's capable of, and it's not always something like, oh, I'm trying to hide, you know, the evil within, like man, like no.
You know how to act in different environments. Right. It's different environments, and you know how to assimilate at times. Right. So when we're at work, we assimilate that environment. When we're in our family, in our specific type group, we know how to assimilate that environment. Outside of that environment, we get outside, it may be something totally different.
Right.
You might be wilding out, right?
Mm-hmm.
But inside that house, we're this way because we're taught from, we're conditioned to be this way.
Right, right.
So those conditionings, you're talking about, is very important. It's very important to understand your environment affects the way you act. Environment affects your behavior. Getting out of that environment can support greater, stronger mental health, brain health. If the environment is toxic, if you consider it toxic, some people may not consider it toxic, but if you consider it toxic and it's causing you a problem, you need to step away from it.
I think a lot of times we're encouraged to stick it out and if you leave you're weak and you're giving up or you're giving up on that marriage, you're giving up on that relationship, the friendship. What's some advice you would give our audience when trying to determine, okay, should I hold on to this, should I let it go? And I feel like sometimes people, familiarity, there's a familiarity in that space. I'm like, I want to stay here. This is where I want to be, even though it hurts. It hurts.
Yeah. It's painful. So I'll say for licensed clinical social workers or any mental health clinician, we try not to give advice. Our job is not to give advice. We really give recommendations. And I know it's kind of a fine line, right? Because we don't want to get to girl, go, because that's a conversation. Girl, go ahead and leave him. And then you leave them and you come back and ready to jump on up. So the recommendation would be, and there's a lot of, you need the full context of that. But if someone's having a hard time in any relationship, I tell them to evaluate it. You can simply do the pros and cons, what's working for you and what's not working for you. If it's a dangerous setting where you feel threatened, your life is threatened, immediately you need to leave. But if it's something that you have been dealing with for a number of years and now it's come to that spark where you're ready to go, then you make that decision. You sit down and make that decision. But it depends on what type of relationship. Marriages are strong and it's kind of hard to break that bond. If you're in a close friendship, sometimes friendships don't last the seasons. They kind of ebb and flow. If it's, a sibling relationship, there's always going to be ups and downs with sibling relationships. Sometimes they come together. So it depends on the context of everything. Yeah.
It's important that you mention that. And I think that, with any step you take is going to be sacrifice.
Yeah.
And any step you take, and I feel like we underestimate how important, like you said, saying mental health, our brain health is, and we make a lot of different sacrifices, like I'm not gonna call a therapist, or tend to get some people tend to get offended when you like, hey, maybe you should try therapy. Like, I'm not no crazy person. I'm not crazy. You need to go get therapy. Why would you tell me something like that? It's like, I was just telling you, like, I benefited from it. And, with myself, when I started going to therapy, I was learning about, different ways to, communicate and emotional intelligence and to get a more well-rounded look at certain situations. And I never had the opportunity to speak to somebody that wasn't connected with my family or anybody that I didn't know.
There you go.
And so I was like, wow, this is a different journey. Like, it's not as... And also to be vulnerable. I wasn't always... Most conversations I have, most of them, 9 times out of 10, I'm like, this happened, but I'm going to be fine.
Yeah.
I'm going to get back up. It's going to be okay.
And
it doesn't give you enough time to kind of process. It's more like, bam, this is how I'm feeling, but I'm going to be up. I'm going to be up. I'm coming up.
I'm supposed to be.
Right. And so I'm just grateful for the doors that therapy has opened for me. And I just want to stress to the audience, like, prioritize your brain health, aka mental health. Prioritize it, because I to be honest, I was more apt to I'll move the land, earth, and sun so I can have my hair appointment. But therapy would be on the back burner. I'll be walking in, like you say, how we have our hair done and all things done, edges and everything. But inside, you're like. But as long as I got my hair looking good,
but you represent well.
But you're representing well, and I think it's important to also do some cleaning on the inside, because when we're angry, been going through things, we could become, a little more irritated and just open up a whole nother can of worms. And on the note of talking about appearance and hair appointments and prioritizing, you did write an article or a blog post about hair and sacrifice and also mental health. And the title is, "Do not need to see a mental health professional. I have a standing appointment with my hairstylist every 2 weeks." So what was going through your mind? What inspired you to make that blog post?
I want to talk about that, but let me tell you a couple of things that popped my interest. Let me tell you, most of the therapists that I know, they see therapists. So that's number one. Number two, the strongest people that I know make appointment with therapists. So that is something I wanted to say.
That is good.
Get it before you fall down. You take care of your body. You take care of your teeth before you get a cavity. Same thing with your brain health. Okay, to this blog post.
I like that note. Yes, a lot of strong people have
they
therapists.
Make the call. Yes.
Yes.
Because it's not when you break down, you're trying to maintain that health. So when you know something is not right, you're not sleeping well, you're, like you said, you're becoming angry, you're agitated at work, you're overwhelmed with things, you need to make that call. You know who you are, make that call. Yes. Okay.
Make that change.
Make that change. Make that change. Okay. Blog post. Okay, so I was getting my hair done. I was getting my weave one day, and I was talking to my girl Tammy. Hey, Tammy. I was talking to Tammy, and she was explaining to me that a lot of her clients come in, and they express some concerns that can be challenging for her. It's a lot of essays. It's a lot of past history. I can't say the word right. It's a lot of past history of trauma during childhood. And she has to take in all this stuff. What does she do with that? She's not a therapist. So we know how to take care of ourselves. And the information that she's getting, she may leak that out to someone else, which she didn't. She didn't provide any names or anything. But you're trusting your information with someone that's easily accessible while they're doing their hair. You're talking to them, you're giving them your soul. And you're not understanding what are they going to do with that information. She's someone that I would trust, and I know she wouldn't share anybody's information, but you're also harming her. Does that make sense? So it's twofold. You don't know if you can trust that individual with your deepest, darkest information. And also, what is she going to do with all those feelings and emotions and that information you gave her? How harmful is that going to be for her? Right? As a therapist, you can trust us. We have we sign or put our hands up legally and ethically. We cannot disclose your information to others, right? We know how to handle the traumas, and we know how to process that trauma with you and support you through that. So you're disclosing this information with your hairstylist, which is great. You're getting it out. But where is the result? Where is the plan of action? How are we going to care for you after that? So you're using it as a way. That's my therapy. The therapists out there, y'all know who you are. Y'all are all therapists that have not been legally assigned this task. Y'all getting a good fee though, but it's twofold. You're doing hair and doing therapy at the same time.
Yeah, you got only have a certification in one.
Yeah.
But I think like a lot of people feel so so comfortable in that space, like, oh, this is somebody I'm going to spend the next 2, 3, 4, 5 hours
6,
with.
7.
Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so you're with them and it's like, oh man, I just feel so comfortable, and it's nice in here. It smells good. I'm about to look cute.
Doing my hair, leaving it up, and I'm just taking. Let me just tell her about what John did last night.
Just dump.
And included in that article. Sorry to jump in front of you. Included in that article was not in Tammy's salon, but I've been at other salons where there's other people, and I think I wrote about. There's other people chiming in on what you should do, the solutions.
Right.
And you don't know where those other people, what their perspective is.
Right.
So we can't come in as therapists. We don't come in with our own perspective. We have to step outside of ourselves. So it's truly a gift. For me, it's truly a gift. Because if you knew me, it's truly a gift. Because I have to step outside of myself. Step outside of being a mother, a grandmother, an auntie, a sister. I have to step out of that and become this a person where I'm a listening ear, and I can give recommendations and help them along that path.
Right. And that's important. And I think we fall into the ease and familiarity of, just being in that seat. And I think that's like, aside from, your appearance and the way you look affects how you feel. And if I try to dissect it myself, I'm like, okay, if I look cute, I'm more willing to do different things. Yes. I'm going here. When I get my hair done, I feel beautiful. When I get my hair done, people look at me differently. When I get my hair done, I know I get to talk with the girls. I get to be away from whatever's going on in my life for a certain amount of time. So that brings me, happy emotions, like what you like association. So I think that the power of emotion that you associate with different spaces is important. And I'm thinking, like, therapy at first did seem like something taboo and scary, because I had nothing to associate it with.
You had no perspective.
I had no perspective. So when I was at, I would see on TV, go to the shrink. There's a lot of different so there's a lot of different representations.
Yes.
And you find what works for you and what doesn't.
Yes.
But that back to, like, being in the hair salon, familiarity. So if we could just break down those stigmas and think, okay, therapy is kind of like a different facet of being at that hair salon in that seat. Like okay, kind of like it's like how you teach your baby, like this, that, like this is this, that is that. So
with solutions, unbiased solutions, from someone that has studied this profession, right? From someone that knows the behaviors, and someone that could partner with you. So in my practice, I partner with my clients. I'm not there to be the judge and jury. I'm there to partner with them and walk along with them. We come up with goals, a treatment plan, and we stick to that treatment plan.
Right.
So that's different from your hairstylist. They're beautiful, they're wonderful, they're doing an amazing job. But where's the solution? Where's the treatment plan? You're going to come back that same week, talk about that same guy, and listen to those same audience with their perspective,
right,
that may have been divorced, may have had turmoil in their current relationship. They're going to give you advice. Where do you think you're going to get it?
A whole plethora of things. And because sometimes we're speaking of people's like still current trauma, or like different coping mechanisms, and it can just go in a different cycle because everybody copes differently. And but I think also taking that time, because self-care is involved in taking that time to get that appointment. So it's still you keep the appointment, but let's add things to our self-care ecosystem, because self-care is important. And I feel like, but there is some things in our lives that can threaten our self-care and make us not feel like we're deserving, of it. And so, what's some recommendations you would give to somebody to start taking their self-care a little seriously and filling their cup?
Yeah, I like that you recognize self-care as being important. And I would say self-care means different things to different people. I think we need to explore a variety of things that would make us happy. Most people talk about taking walks, yoga, listening to music, which is great. Some people may not like that. They may have fears around that. Music may spark up something. So we have, adult coloring books that you could do. Right? We have adult coloring books. We have photo journaling, where I say, if you don't want to journal, take a picture of something and then just write one word. We have, going out into a different activity that you never thought about doing before. Oh, I want to crochet. I know it's weird. But
I love crochet.
My granddaughter is crocheting now. What she do? But try something new. Step out of yourself. Step out of your environment. So self-care is whatever makes you happy. Whatever makes the situation feel a little bit more, you're able to get through that situation. Something that brings joy to your heart. So what brings joy to my heart is stepping away when I'm not providing therapy. I like being by myself. I like reading. I like watching movies. I like shopping, although I'm not shopping right now. I like shopping.
Or is she?
Right, no. No. She been in my therapist. She over here in my therapy business. But stuff like that brings comfort to you. It doesn't have to be expensive, right? People always talk about this extravagant stuff. No, do something simple. do something like this. This is self-care for you.
Yeah,
you enjoy this, right?
Yes, I do.
See?
Growing my podcast, sharing things with the world, talking about taboo topics. This is what I love to do, yeah.
Helping others.
Yes.
That's a form of self-care if you're not overwhelming yourself. So for me, since I sit with people often and I'm in the clinic other days, helping others, I do that, but it's not something that would be self-care for me because it would be overwhelming because I've already filled my cup and poured it over everybody. Now I need to refill my cup, and start again. So yeah.
Right, that's important. And for me, some of the self-care things I do is like crochet. Or I'll listen to music.
Crochet party and music.
Or I'll make beats and do different creative things. And I realized that I had to start taking it a little more seriously because I was like, if I take time to do this for myself, I could be doing something else. I could be completing an assignment, or I could be helping somebody else with something. But filling your cup up is important, especially in tough times like these. Know how to deal, with strenuous situations. Like, does self-care even matter anymore? Yeah. Do I still take that beat to take care of myself? And what does self-care look like in treacherous situations? It's tough and it's not easy, and that leads me to my next group of questions. How can individuals still embrace resilience and mental strength when living through such a stressful, unpredictable time? Like, is it? I know that I feel some type of guilt. Like, should I even be smiling right now, or how do I still focus on the happy things when it's nerve wracking? My family members have been affected. We're being affected.
But I'll just say one thing that we do know: this too shall pass. Everything passes with time. And also, we've been through so many disasters, probably individual disasters in our lives, and we've been able to overcome this. Because life, this is bad, the English is not great, but life keeps on lifing. And with that being said, we have to find that time to still practice self-care and to just still smile. We know that life is going to hit us hard. Life has hit us hard before. We've had deaths in the family, and we still have to overcome with that. So just knowing that, we're going to support our community, whatever we can do to expand our resources and to help others, that's one thing we're going to do, but we're also going to still make room for ourselves. So we can do both. We can be in both places. We can smile and, and honor someone that is hurting on the other side, because we don't have to be in that somber mood to make them feel better. Because I don't know if you've ever experienced, and this is very hard topic, but I've had challenges where I've had people I lost, and then sometimes you think, I gotta be kind of sad because I lost them. Not, the day of, but, after you're like, well, maybe I'll be somber too. But does it help? Really? No.
And then just ruminating and staying in that space of despair, it can be counterproductive. It can.
And watching CNN like I was doing, watching the news, you need to know, people you need to be involved and know. I think you do, but then there's a point where you need to just step back and take a break from that. Go get something good to eat. I was going to say go take a walk, but it's kind of bad out there. Do something that uplifts your spirit, and then maybe go back to that. I went to the store yesterday, and I thought, I almost cried because I'm a big crybaby, but I was in the store buying my tuna. And I went past the aisle. I got to get my tuna. And the guy was packing up cans, and his daughter was with him. It was really his daughter selecting the soups. They were getting soups for people that were encountered, that are experiencing hardships with the fires. I almost cried. I'm like, oh my God. So humanity is prevailing. That's one thing that is making me happy. Right. So yeah.
But I feel like everybody is coping in a different way. And I just feel like that should be respected. Like, some people need to smile to even get through.
They need to laugh through the pain. I tell my this story, and my aunt, I'm not going to say which aunt, but she passed away. But she wouldn't care. It was my Aunt Lynn. She passed. But she was amazing. She had this very resilient spirit. She had been through so much in her life. And it was in her later years that something had happened, and she was just laughing. And then she fell out and laughed more. But that's her spirit. She doesn't stop. This happened. It was funny. We all laughed, and we were over it.
Right.
I'm not saying get over it like that, but I'm saying enjoy whatever life brings to you. If you need to step away and laugh. Stop judging people. We quick to judge. We messy judges. Messy.
It's put that down.
Put it down.
Put it down. right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're not.
Yeah.
We're not. But I love that you mentioned that, and that's so important. Mental health is important.
Yeah.
Brain health is important, and I feel like we're gonna come together, and we're gonna see the top of that mountain.
Yes.
And we all have different ways to cope.
Yes.
And so with mine being music and just things I love, just to leave our audience with what is a song that lifts your spirits, that helps you leave. Let's leave on a high note. And what's a song that lifts your spirits? It doesn't matter whether it's a song by Lil Wayne, Lil Boosie, Lil whatever, whoever.
I like Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick, whoever.
I love Kendrick Lamar. And okay, if Kendrick is out there watching, I need just 2 tickets, sir. I just need 2.
Have you on Kung Fu Kenny?
2. Oh no, I need 3 because I have to bring money. I need 3 tickets. We need 3 tickets, okay?
Por favor.
So, por favor. I like, and just what comes to mind, We Gonna Be Alright. I like his new album, but right now, We Gonna Be Alright.
Yeah.
We gonna be alright.
Yes. I am here with Dr. Amylah Bōdy, and her advice is We Gonna Be Alright. Her recommendation is We Gonna Be Alright. Yes.
And amazing.
Yes, and amazing. Thank you for tuning in to the Under the Sun podcast. Any last words you want to share?
No, I'm just thankful. And watch out for this young lady. This is a bad, you know what, hush your mouth.
Thank you so much for coming to the podcast, Auntie. And remember, everybody, we're going to be all right. We're going to get through this.
We are.
Take it step by step. Remember, we talk about everything under the sun. Nothing is too taboo to bring to this podcast. Thank you, and bye-bye.
Woo! We did it!